Hello, everyone. My name is Teresa Snyder. I'm in Amarillo, Texas today, and we have a guest all the way over in India. Welcome, Janavi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I want to know, what
Yeah,
time is it? What time is it
uh,
in India?
it's nearing to 12 and it's 11:30 here right now.
At night, PM. So I really appreciate
Yes,
you're
yes.
here. 11:30 at night, and it's it's barely the afternoon. So great. So go ahead, introduce yourself, and let's find out a little bit about you.
Well, I'm really glad to be on your show, Teresa. And I actually come from Bangalore in India, and I'm. My name is Janvi Katti, and it was Lachelle, who was the superwoman of super mom of America, who introduced me to this show. And actually, I am a coach, and I come from a 20-year training and coaching background. And I have this called Story2Satori, is what I am conducting those workshops all over. And
What
this is what I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about Story2Satori. Yeah.
What does story to Satori mean? What does that mean?
It's a really an interesting and very nice question that you asked, because it's like a small baby which is born to me, and a couple of years old, and it's like a toddler, and now, and it all started with
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you
me.
this. Is it
Yes,
is it in the terrible toddler stage, in the terrible twos?
yes, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So it's a terrible toddler, and it's really giving me all those, making me run here and there and trying to keep it in my space. And so I'm having a wonderful time though, and I'm actually enjoying this space now with my terrible toddler. That Story2Satori coming back, and this started with. I would say it goes back to my younger days when um, I had a lot to deal with, and then it all started with a kind of a stress that I was carrying, and I was young and I did not know. I had, as everybody else, I had a lot of dreams and a lot of disillusionment as well, because my whole ambition was to. I remember, I had written in my diary when I was 18 years old, I want to be a good communicator. I want to be a speaker.
Wow.
And that was when.
Let me ask you this, Janavi, and I'm wanting to make this conversation. I want to ask you those questions as they come up.
Yeah, of course.
For me, the women that I have met from India, one of my very good friends, Sija Devasi, I love it when I find powerful women, and I wanted to acknowledge that you wanted to be a good communicator. That says a lot about who you are as a person. That is amazing. So a shout out to some of the people watching. Helene.
Yes.
Carol.
I wanted to check as well.
Yes. So hello to everyone. We are really.
Yeah, I mean, is it streaming on my Facebook? I was just watching,
well,
whether it is really streaming.
Tim Hotchkiss is watching. He's going to be a guest co-host of mine very soon.
Okay.
Friday. So we will make sure that it's streaming over. Carol shared it onto your page. So go ahead with your toddler 2 program and your communication program.
Okay. And so when I was young, as I told you, I had this great aspirations to get into the field of communication. And I was actually taking part in writing poetry, short stories, and acting in plays. And I was busy doing all sorts of stuff, like it was like a very creative part of my stage of my life, I would say. And I had this dream of becoming a journalist. And that was a time when, I would say, it's not something which was decided, but I just got an opportunity to get into a 9-to-5 corporate job. And as you would, have it, it just came, and the opportunity was knocking at my door, and all my dreams kind of, just went to a side, and I tried to fit in there. And I was actually getting married as well within a year, not even a year, as soon as I got my job, and I got married, and very soon I had 2 kids. And it was such a, so many things happening at the same time, like a whirlpool of things and emotions flowing all over the place. So that was a time when I was not able to handle all this, but yet being a person that I am, I'm a person who bounces back all the time. Whatever life offers, it gives me lemons, I'll make a lemonade out of it.
Lemonade. Well, let me ask you
Yes.
this. I know for myself, I coach women, a lot of different types of people. I have found that women have put on those identity as a mom or as a wife, or they're going to work in a certain job. What was the breaking point for you that you decided, no, there's something more or different, that you had the courage to take on something new?
Yes, that's the thing I was going to come to, and it took a long time for me to decide this, and that is the whole challenge that I went through, because I had to look after my family, and then I had to see what the family needs. I had to have this 9 to 5, a secure job. So I worked there for almost 20 years, before I left the job. And when I took the plunge, it was after a lot of courage that I had to build. And I had a lot of stories about myself, a lot of self-doubts, and whether I would really be able to do something on my own.
You are one of many, many, many people. People can relate. I love it that you said it. You had some self-doubt, and then you went into the depths of yourself and you found some courage. Hats off and high five and good job for that.
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledgement. But it was not so easy for me, because I had a depression around, it was almost like a depression that was not something which was clinical, but it would be in and out, and I would not feel like jumping out of the bed. I was jumping out of the bed, not out of my own inspiration, but it was something which I had to do, because, as I said, I'm the person who would, no matter what, I am going to give my best. That is my attitude in life right from the beginning. But then the one thing that I wanted was to live and express myself fully. That has, as I said, become a communicator. What it meant to me was fully expressed, be fully expressed, and just speak my own voice, be myself, be my authentic self. And that was missing, and that's the reason.
Find a way to speak your truth, find your voice. And I'm telling you, there are so many people, women, men alike, but a lot of women, they get older and they have found they've been serving and doing so much for everyone else. And so then that's where you were. And then all of a sudden, you had this eye-opening transformational experience. What was that? Was it a life coach that you found, a friend, or just something you just decided one day?
Yeah, as you said, it was a life coach. It was a life coach. And I got into this entrepreneurial journey. I left my job, and then I started my own training company. I was doing training because I was getting the assignments. But I just stumbled into coaching one fine day. And even during my learning part, I had a coach, and he was, we were doing coaching for each other. It was like a pro bono coaching for each other. And then during that session, it was so cathartic that I actually saw myself completely. He was like a mirror, and mirroring all my inauthenticities, and I could see myself truly how I was living the life which was expected by somebody else. It was either my employer or my colleague or my husband or my children or my relatives and friends, and it was almost like I was trying to be somebody perfect, and I was not really liking myself. I was not the person who was completely in love with myself. Though I was doing the affirmations, I was doing all sorts of energy work. I did the Louise Hay, Reiki, and then Silva Method Mind Control. I did Landmark, Art of Living. But the coach was the person, and in that one conversation, it was like boom, it actually completely gave me those insights that this is who I am, and I am trying to be something else.
Wow, you were trying
I'm
to fit
trying to be something else.
you were trying to fit into a mold based on society or based on other people's expectations. And finally it took what
Yes.
it took. And so let me take a glimpse. Let's take a walk into what is your life like now that you have this program and you're helping others. What is that like for you?
Yes. This was something that as I got into coaching and I started, becoming a mirror and a sounding board for others, I started looking at my own self. I started really listening to my inner self, my journey inward. It started becoming so clearer to me. And it was so clear about, how I'm going to take it forward now. How can I really speak out and stand up for myself? And this is the process that I'm still doing. And I learned mindfulness, and the toddler that I'm talking about, Story to Satori, is the toddler who is born out of that whole process of evolution of my own self.
Wow.
From that person who was like a victim and who was all the time asking validation and not fully confident. And now I'm the person who, yes, I do ask for feedback, but then it's taken in a completely, in a very objective manner. It's not something that I take it personally. And I can stand apart and observe things without getting into the reactive mode,
Wow.
and that is how it started. Yeah.
And I know I have landmark training as well. And so we both have that definitely
Yeah, I
in
know.
common, and the mentorship and coaching and all those things we have that in common. And I love it that you're being a powerful representation for others to say, oh, wow, if she can do it, maybe I can too. That they can break free from a mold, or they can break free from the morass, or they can break free from the old story. And it's like you give people, once we give ourselves love and we give ourselves permission and we take care of who we are and our dreams, then it's so much easier to be able to give that and share that and teach that to others. That's been my experience.
Yes, absolutely. So it's now like people can see me as somebody who is not either asking for validation or giving any kind of a validation, and that self-critical aspect of me is no more there. And I'm quickly getting into the non-judgmental space. And even if there are any judgments that are coming during the conversation, I have that kind of an ability now to step back and look at myself as well. It's not just the other person. I'm giving the space, and I'm trying to all the time be in a kind of in a very insecure space. I also make myself very secure, and I feel it's okay to have those kinds of feelings. If suppose there is some kind of a judgment, it's okay. I mean, it's like a process. The mind is going to process things, and it will take some time. But over the period of time, it's slowing so much that there is nothing much happening in the background. There's no noise, basically.
Yes, and there's so much
Yeah.
around, the neuroscience and the actual, the cognitive and the mindfulness behavior. And it's kind of like once we can take care of our mind, then we can take care of our body. And then, everybody has their own version, I'm sure, of spirituality. So my next question for you is, how does this, I think you mentioned you have a daughter that's in the United States. Is that right?
Yes, two daughters, both the daughters, two daughters.
Both, or are they both in the United States?
Yes, both are. One is in Albany and one is in Michigan. Both are in US.
Wow. So what brought them to
Yes.
the United States?
Work. I mean, they both went to work, and then they got married as well. And then one went because she got married and she started working there, and another one because she went to work there and she was already married.
Okay.
So
interesting.
yes.
So I'm curious, from a cultural standpoint, is there a way that, do you coach more of one type of culture? And this is totally just out of curiosity. It's not judgment based at all, because you're in India. For those of you that are just tuning in, I'm Teresa in Texas, and Denavi is all the way in India at almost midnight. So I'm curious, do you represent all different types of cultures, or do you have like a niche kind of market for yourself?
See, based in Bangalore and in India, this is a IT hub. I mean, it's like a Silicon Valley of India. And having been in the corporate for almost 2 decades, my clients were from all over the world, because they either go to on-site and then they work there, or they come back and they are, they're based in Bangalore. But because of my coaching academy where I learned, which is an Australian-based school that I learned and got certified, we had all people from all over the world, from all cultures. And we were, in fact, told and encouraged to coach each other. So I'm I have coached almost 18 plus nationalities, people coming from different nationalities. So there were Spanish and Japanese and yes.
So do you speak multiple languages?
Yes, Indian languages I do speak. I can understand a bit of German, but I don't speak any other than English. I don't speak. But in India, we have several languages, and I can speak at least 4 or 5 pretty fluently.
Wow, that's what I do love about technology. And I acknowledge you that you're taking technology and, I think there's, and I'm curious, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you find that in the coaching industry that you want to have a niche or a certain coaching style? I mean, what is the story to Satori, and how does that relate into your coaching business?
Yes, that's a very, very crucial question, and you asked me that. And so this is something which is based on mindfulness and also on the mindset. Because as I told you, I got my certification in life coaching, and I also got certified from Massachusetts University in mindfulness in the University of Massachusetts. So what I did was I blended the both things, when I did my power tool and my coaching model. My coaching model is called being versus doing. So it speaks about mindfulness. So Satori is something of a mindful state. It's a Zen word, which means actually sudden enlightenment. And I don't necessarily mean it's a spiritual enlightenment. It could be just having a wisdom in that situation where you are. And story is all that, what the monkey mind creates all the time, the emotional drama, which we are into. So to get that right mindset, you need to have a mindful living and a mindful lifestyle. And this is the reason why I blended both and put coaching into it a bit. And what I'm doing is I'm right now focusing on women, more so on women in India who are either because of the birth of a child, they've taken a break for a couple of years and they want to go back to work, or the middle level women who are not opting to take the leadership roles because of, again, cultural issues or the mindset. And
yes, again, and one, thank you. I acknowledge you.
Yes.
How you define Satori. Thank you for that. And so it gives, the viewers perspective. And also you said, I heard you say there's the being is important. It's not
Yes.
always the doing. And that you're
Yes.
helping women find their place and giving them permission. I would almost say giving them permission to take on leadership or be empowering or coaching. It's kind of like you're being that strong, bold person that's able to kind
Yes.
of, I love that. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this is something which I love to do because I resonate with women a lot, and I can understand what they're going through, and it really gives me that kind of fulfillment. And of course the millennials, we are the country with the maximum number of the population is millennials, and so I also coach them when they are on the crossroad of making decisions in regard to careers, because there's a lot of conflict happening. There's so many opportunities, and so the millennials want to have a lifestyle where there are less stresses. And so this is the reason why I'm bringing out some online courses, and which is called again Story to Satori, and how they can become a lifestyle entrepreneur, work
Ooh.
from home, and develop their passion, develop whatever they have, the knowledge or the skill or the passion, and convert that into uh, uh, a course and sell it online. So
Very good.
this is what
So I'm curious, since you deal with millennials, is what do you find is the number one stressor for millennials?
well, I would say the lot of information that is available, which is overwhelming, and also the type of conflicting situations all over the world with lot of uncertainties, economic uncertainties, and job layoffs, and also the number of options available. There are a lot of, I would say, they have so much of choice, and that also becomes pretty overwhelming, which was not so couple of decades ago. It was something like either do this or this, or we had fewer options.
Yes.
And now with so much of internet based jobs coming up and technology, I think that is the challenge for them.
Oh, I
and
think
and they also want to have fun, and they want to have fun, and they want to see work as fun, unlike us, from the older generations. They want to have fun because they're spending a lot of time in the office and the workplace. They want to have a lot of fun in the workplace. That's what they look at.
ooh, that is so
And
true. I
those are
think
the
that,
challenges. Yes.
because for me, being 48 years old, so I'm in that cusp of Gen Y or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you brought that up. With technology, it kind of pigeonholes, I would say, that, yeah, we're all missing some fun, like to get outside or to get our body moving and not just always plugged into the computer,
Yes.
you know? Even myself as an entrepreneur, it's kind of like, man, I get sucked into, oh, another course, another video, another interview, another something else. And today I literally had to just go out. And again, I'm in Texas, you're in India today, but it's daytime here. Went and walked my dog and just got and listened to the birds and got out in the sunshine.
Yeah, I get that. I hear you. Because even the same thing with me, I mean, it's like we are so much wrapped up into our laptops and our mobiles. We hardly ever get to go out to the gym or the swim or do something for ourselves. As you said, just go for a walk with your dog. And I think that is the most important point right now, is have a healthy lifestyle, eat healthy food, sleep on time, and sleep is becoming deprived. Many of us are not getting the enough amount of sleep, and that is most important, I would say. And also work, of course. Work should not become a 24/7, and that's most important. I agree with you totally.
Oh, that is good. It's a great reminder. Thank you for those reminders that
Yes.
definitely sleep. And I know for me, there's been times even lately where if I have a lot on my mind and I'm not clear headed, then I wake up at an odd hour of the night and I think, oh my goodness, that is of my own doing in a way, because I didn't take care of myself, or I didn't maybe eat something nutritional and plan for a proper night's sleep. I love that you brought that into it. We're missing out, I think. Yes, technology is wonderful. You and I are connected live streaming on 2 or 3 platforms at totally different times, different countries. It's beautiful. It's just we also have to get back to the normal basics. So as we round out the show, and how can people get a hold of you? And then I'm going to ask you a couple of final questions, but how would people find out more about you and your program?
Yes. They can contact me on LinkedIn, which I'm always available, and they can add me on LinkedIn, and I'm on Facebook, and there's my page, Story2Satori, STORY, and it's numerical 2, SATORI, which is there visible on the panel there, as well as my website is www.jahnaviKatti.com, which is just getting built. It's under the process, and very soon it will be up and running. And I'm sure, people can connect with me soon. And these are the 3 ways, I think. And I'm on Instagram. You can add me there, and I can be of service to you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. You've been of service to me today and the audience, and whoever. I would encourage, if anybody got any valuable bit of information, that you share this with a friend. Share this, send it in a message, or however you think that somebody might can hear this and feel empowered and feel like, wow, I can relate. 2 bold women making our way out in the world, I think is amazing. And so, Jahnavi, the last thing I like to ask my guests is, what would you like to be acknowledged for? And I would like to acknowledge you today or tonight or whatever.
Okay, I would like to be acknowledged as a person who is confident and up and running, standing for myself.
Excellent. So, Jahnavi, thank you. And I want to acknowledge you for being courageous, for taking on being confident and being a representation for, others. That yes, life happens. Maybe we were in a job, whatever it is, that your story to Satori is inspiration to me, and I'm sure many others. And I just am blessed and so thankful. And for all of you watching, I appreciate that you are here with us today. If you ever have show ideas, comments, you're needing some coaching from me, reach out to me, Teresa Snyder, on Facebook, LinkedIn. Also, Jahnavi, you have all your website and handle you can put in the comments, and just really I appreciate being here so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
thank you so much.
Get some good sleep, and I'm going to go out and do something great today, and we will talk very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.